If RFK Jr. joins Donald Trump, Donald Trump is headed for a blowout victory. And I want to show you why. I'm going to show you some polls because the numbers are crazy. I'll show you where we're at right now, but then I'm going to show you out where we would be if RFK Jr. And again, this is a very conservative estimate, by the way. It could go even more blowouty. I don't even know if that's a word, blowouty, for Donald Trump. But I'm going to show you with RFK Jr. and without. So let's show you really quick the general election. Again, this is for the popular vote. If you look right here, Donald Trump, as of today, is up 2%, which is really bad for Joe Biden. If you look, you can see on this graph that there's a moment, Donald Trump has been winning this whole time, but there's a moment when they intersect. That moment is just around the debate. So Biden was actually gaining ground, most likely because of the conviction, though we're not exactly sure. As soon as that debate happens, it is very clear that people want absolutely nothing to do with Joe Biden, and Trump jumps up to this 2%. Kennedy, you can see, is staying at 9%. And I've talked about it for a long time. It's no secret that Republicans can easily win this election without the general vote, without the popular vote. So Donald Trump being up on the popular vote is absolutely fantastic for Republicans. If Kennedy has about 9% of the vote, let's just assume that 1% more goes towards Donald Trump if he endorsed Donald Trump. I'm not saying that RFK Jr. is going to endorse Donald Trump and all 9% of those people are going towards Donald Trump. It's just not going to happen. But say even 1% of the population goes more for Donald Trump, we now see Donald Trump up 3%, which is absolutely staggering because I've said for a long time, if you look at kind of the way the past elections have shaped out in 2020 and 2016, Joe Biden is probably going to need at least 3% more of the popular vote than Donald Trump in order to win. So if that happened with RFK Jr., it would be the inverse, and Biden would be 6% down from where he needs to be. So that's the general election, which, by the way, doesn't really matter because the Electoral College is how our country works. I want to show you now Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. And the reason why I want to focus on those three swing states, and again, you gotta see these numbers because they're just crazy. The reason why I want to show you these three and not the other ones is because Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada, which are kind of the other really big swing states, have gotten away from Biden completely. The polling at this point is consistent enough to show that Trump is going to take those unless something crazy happens, which, as we'll talk about at the end, something could always happen for sure, but are unlikely at this point. Polymarket, gives Trump a 78% chance of winning Nevada, 77% chance in Georgia, and 76% in Arizona. So that's the reason why I'm not going to talk about those, because as far as even the Biden administration, a lot of top Democrats have come out and said that those states are gone. However, in order for Trump to win, he needs those three and either Michigan, Pennsylvania, or Wisconsin. So I want to show you the numbers for those three because, again, if he just wins one of those, he wins the presidency. We'll look at Wisconsin first. This is what Wisconsin looks like as of today. Closer than the general election. Trump is up by 1.3%. Kennedy is at 7.4%. Again, if just 1% go up, you're looking at a 2.3% lead for Trump. That's looking really good for him in Wisconsin. Next up, I want to show you Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, things have really taken off for Trump after the debate. Again, Pennsylvania was one that I really thought, Biden could pick up more than most of them. At this point, Trump is already up 2.6. Kennedy also is a little bit more favored than in other states here. So if he were to endorse Donald Trump, it would be disastrous for Joe Biden. Again, just being conservative, let's say, 5% or like 4.5% go to Trump from Kennedy and 3.5% go to Biden. Trump is up 3.6%. Those are huge numbers. And again, it could be more than that. If Kennedy goes, maybe 80% of his supporters go for Trump. But I would have to guess that at least 60% of Kennedy's voters would go towards Trump if he's the one that endorses him. And then, of course, we have Michigan. This is the closest one, as far as I'm aware, where Trump is up by less than 1%. But Kennedy has the highest favorability here. So this could be huge for Donald Trump. Could definitely bring him over the edge in Michigan. However, if Trump wins 2 or even 3 of those states, which, again, he's winning in them right now, it would be a blowout. It would be massive for Trump. He would win most of the swing states. It would be a massive Republican victory. However, there are 2 more states. All of a sudden, this is like in the last week or two because of the debate and because of RFK Jr. as well, that would make this so It would be such a big blowout. And those states are Virginia and Minnesota. I want to show you Virginia first. This is what Virginia looks like. Right now, Biden is only up 2.6% on Donald Trump. Again, Virginia and Minnesota aren't even seen as swing states. They're not even in play. We're not even thinking about them. I said that Donald Trump has to win Wisconsin, Michigan, or Pennsylvania, but none of those three matter if he wins Virginia. It's over. It is over if he wins Virginia. It's over if he wins Wisconsin. What you're seeing here is 2.6 only. So without RFK Jr., you're quite close. It's a bit of a toss-up. Kennedy is quite favored. He's got 9.4% in this. If he endorsed Donald Trump, it might be enough to swing Virginia over to Donald Trump, which would be disastrous for Biden. It would end the campaign. And then, of course, Minnesota is just as disastrous for Joe Biden. He's only up 1.2%. If you're Donald Trump right now, regardless of what goes on with RFK Jr., you are targeting Minnesota like crazy because, like I just said, the other swing states are irrelevant if he wins Minnesota. It's over. It is completely over. It is a blowout. And again, Kennedy has 8.3% of the vote here, as you can see here. So, if he endorses Donald Trump, that's enough to make it a dead heat, most likely. Now, to be clear, anything could happen between now and November. I've been saying that for a long time. If you had asked me, for instance, a month ago, what was going to happen with Joe Biden when he got up on the debate stage, I would have said they're going to shoot him up with their special potion. They're going to shoot him up. He's going to do fine. He's not going to be good. He's going to lie a lot. Donald Trump will beat him. If you're being honest with yourself, Donald Trump will beat him, but leftists won't see it. No one's going to change their mind, in other words. Leftists are going to watch Joe Biden. They're going to say he won. People on the right are going to watch Donald Trump. They're going to say he won. Nothing's really going to change. It's going to be fine. I never would have guessed that he floundered as bad as he did and looked as bad as he did, and he continues to look bad, by the way. I have more videos coming out from some recent interviews. Stay tuned for those. They're absolutely crazy. Again, I would not have guessed that something like that happened. If you had told me a month ago that Donald Trump would be shot, I would have been shocked. I wouldn't have been surprised. You can't be surprised because this is what happens when Democrats lie and say it'll be the end of democracy and call him Hitler. So it's not surprising. But it is shocking because it is always shocking to see a former president shot in the face. It just is. Doesn't matter how high the tensions are. It's just shocking to see that, especially in this day and age. So with those things happening just in the past 20 days, who can say what's going to happen in the next 120 days? So we can't, say the election's over, but as it stands today, this is what it looks like. If Republicans keep fighting like heck and being there at each precinct when the votes are counted, it's going to be a Republican victory. But as it stands today, Trump, if he gets RFK Jr. on his side, if he rallies behind him, it will be a Reagan-style blowout. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please go down below, comment, like, and subscribe, and watch another video.